On this week's show, we see who comes out on top in the Remington Park, Oklahoma bred Futurity. We also see the continuance of an onslaught of stakes wins from the Louis Villafranco barn. All this and more on this week's edition of the Remington Report.
The Remington Report, sponsored by the Oklahoma Quarter Horse Racing Association, PYC Paint Your Wagon, and Heritage Place, the place where champions are sold. The Remington Report Stakes Race Recap.
Okay, the $720,000 Remington Park, Oklahoma bred Futurity highlights the overflowing recap section here on the Remington Report.
2 days of trials produced a little bit of an unknown for the wagering public at Remington this past Saturday night, as the qualifiers from the second night of trials faced a much lighter headwind as compared to the first night of trials, where the qualifiers saw gusts between 18 to 20 miles an hour. The field was headlined by two Eddie D. Willis trainees who caught the top spots in the qualifying going into the finals.
They're off the Remington Park Futurity. Good start outside for Houdini, Smoke a Little Smoke, and Coronado Cartel. Ellen's Regard breaks fourth down at the rail. Just one more thing right there. Now Houdini battling with Coronado Cartel to the outside. Ellen's Regard still into it towards the rail third. It's Houdini on top, drifting in. Houdini, Coronado Cartel, these two to the line. Houdini drifting in a lot, but may have nosed Coronado Cartel. It's a photo on the line.
Long shot Houdini, who qualified only 9th in the trials, duels to the wire in a head bob with the favorite and fastest qualifier, Coronado Cartel. The racing officials had to go to the photo to decide the winner, as both horses seemingly hit the wire simultaneously. After further review of the photo, the results came back favorable for Team Eddie Willis, as Coronado Cartel got up in the closing inches to claim victory over the Louis Villafranco train Houdini. Jockey Jimmy Brooks rode the winner for owner Reliance Ranches LLC for trainer Eddie D. Willis. The Corona Cartel colt was bred in Oklahoma by Watona Stanley and William Smith. The time of the race, 16.755 seconds over a fast racing surface.
Okay, we'll be right back after these words from PYC Paint Your Wagon.
The Remington Report is proudly sponsored by PYC Paint Your Wagon. He was the #1 sire of Money Earners in 2012. He has over $8.8 million in earnings from only 5 crops to race. He is by the champion Sire of Sires Corona Cartel and out of the champion broodmare Dashin' Follies. Stakes winners are derived from this royal bloodline, as he has produced 15 graded stakes winners thus far in his stud career. PYC Paint Your Wagon, standing at Royal Vista Ranches in Wayne, Oklahoma.
Okay, we're back and continuing on the recap of the $253,000 Remington Park, Oklahoma bred Derby.
They're off the Remington Park Derby. Great start for Feature Hero, coming away with a half-length lead over Brace for Bernal, who drifts down to the rail. Highest Picker Girl chasing along third, trying to come on now. Is Glory Rider into fourth. Farther out, High Class Fly. Feature Hero gives way to Brace for Bernal. Brace for Bernal found the rail and found the hot path and is going on here in the Remington Park Derby by a length and a half.
Brace for Bernal overcomes a tardy start to put in an awesome display of speed to rally in mid-stretch to take the lead and power home in an ultra-impressive victory in the $253,000 Derby. Jockey Paul Nieto rode the winning Fury of the Wind colt for owner Noel Lopez Prieto and for trainer Louis Villafranco. Brace for Bernal was bred in Oklahoma by Joaquin Lopez. We'll return after these words from the OQHRA.
The Remington Report is proudly sponsored by the OQHRA.
Okay, the older horses went at it in the Grade 2 $50,000 Bob Moore Memorial Stakes.
They're off the Bob Moore Memorial Stakes. Away sharply from the rail, Atlanta Cartel right there. Now coming along from the middle, that's Tullamore Bourbon from the outside, the Sunday Assassin, Wicked Courage into it. And here's Black Rosalita as well. Getting late in the Bob Moore Memorial. Black Rosalita, a lot of work to do. Atlanta Cartel, Wicked Courage, these three on the line.
Cody Jensen storms home a winner aboard another Louis Villafranco trainee, Wicked Courage, for owner Andrew Smith. This Grade 2 winning son of Captain Courage was bred in Texas by Burnett Ranches LLC. On to the $100,000 Remington Park Juvenile Stakes, a healthy field of 10 contesting the 330-yard event this past Sunday. Judd Curl-trained Wagon-Tail surges to the wire under Rodrigo Vallejo to capture victory for owner J&B Enterprises LLC. An undercard stakes event on the Remington Futurity night was the Lyco Bird Stakes for 2-year-olds going 330 yards, as Eddie D. Willis trained Pronto Alex bolts home a winner under jockey David Pignon for owner and breeder Abel Flores. Jumping over to the running of the $50,000 Mr. Master Bug Stakes for 3-year-olds going 350 yards on Sunday. Jose Aguilera trained Cool Wave outduels Slew of Success to the wire for owner Miguel Bamos with jockey Raul Gutierrez aboard. The Paints and Apps contested the Grade 1 Mr. Louis Stakes on Saturday night, with Louis Villafranco having a continued successful weekend, with Flash the Chicks being ushered home a winner under jockey G.R. Carter for owner Shirley Wheeler in the Grade 1 event. Last Friday night stakes event saw D. Keener train Corporal Cash take the Victoria Ennis Memorial for owner Steve Rutherford with jockey Tony Bennett aboard for the win.
Okay, this weekend at Remington Park, the PSBA Grade 1 American Paint Classic Futurity and Derby takes place.
The Remington Report Stakes Preview.
Let's get to analyzing the Futurity as we focus on a key trial race that saw 3 qualifiers graduate to the final, with the fastest qualifier, Fast Flying Flash, storming home on the outside in his trial race to get to the top spot in the Futurity going towards the finals. The second trial race to analyze also saw 3 qualifiers graduating to the finals, highlighted by the third fastest qualifier, Situation, rushing down the middle of the track to qualify impressively for trainer Matthew McCart. Jockey Jesus Salazar has the call in the finals. You can check out all the qualifiers to the Futurity on StallionEsearch.com. Also on Saturday is the Grade 1 PSBA American Paint Derby, with a field that includes the morning line favorite Laus Deo, the speed horse Graham Derby winner last time out. And that concludes the preview for this week. Heritage Place graduates are leading the way in the industry, highlighted by former all-time leading money earner Stoley's winner, as well as $1 million earners Mr. Piloto in Double Down Special, and many other top runners in quarter horse racing, all Heritage Place graduates. Important dates are Heritage Place Futurity and Derby in June, the yearling sale in September, the fall mix sale in November, and the winter mix sale in January of 2014. Heritage Place, the place where champions are sold. The Breeding Shed Moment. This week's spotlight shines brightly on champion sire Corona Cartel, who was by Hollanese out of the Chicks Beduino mare named Corona Chick. Corona Cartel earns this honor for the week due to the wire-nabbing win of Coronado Cartel in last Saturday's $720,000 Remington Park, Oklahoma bred Futurity. As a runner, Corona Cartel earned over $577,000 on the track and was the winner of the Grade 1 Los Alamitos Million and the Grade 2 Kindergarten Futurity out in California. As a sire, he's in rarefied air, as he is a past world champion sire and a producer of earners of over $41 million from 13 crops to race. He is also the sire of 72 graded stakes winners, including being the sire of Millionaires, World Champion Blues Girl 2, Champion Teller Cartel, and the Grade 1 winning Eye for Corona. Corona Cartel made the ultimate stallion headlines as his son Teller Cartel won the 2005 edition of the All-American Futurity.
Straight hard, and Teller Cartel coming to the wire. They're splashing and dashing in the All-American Futurity. Teller Cartel!
You can view the member stallion page of Corona Cartel by logging on to StallionEsearch.com. And that concludes the Breeding Shed Moment for this week.
That's all the time we have for this week's episode of the Remington Report. We'll be back next week, of course, to look at the restricted Grade 1 Sooner Stakes and also to recap the PSBA American Classic, Futurity, and Derby. If you can't be at the racetrack this weekend, go to aqha.com/racing and watch the Q Racing videos there on their website. All the partnering racetracks, all the stakes races, they're on Q Racing. I'm Greg Thompson of StallionResearch.com. We'll see you next week here on the Remington Report.